Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video we'll derive the acceleration of a particle undergoing general planar motion, and using the result we'll try to solve this problem in the easiest possible way. So let's read the problem. So we have a smooth horizontal rod of length 1 meter and mass 3 kg with a sleeve of mass 1 kg. Initially it's at this end, and this rod is getting rotated with an initial angular velocity of 10 radians per second. When the sleeve reaches the other end, which of the following options are correct? So we have to talk about the velocity of the sleeve at this end and the normal force acting on the sleeve at this end. So there were square roots over here. Okay, so first let's discuss the concepts that are required for this problem. So let's say some particle is moving in a plane and its position vector at any time is r vector. Okay, and let's say its angle with the horizontal is theta. So okay, now we define two unit vectors, and the first unit vector is along the direction of increasing r, which is in this direction, and we call it r cap. And then we choose another perpendicular unit vector, which is in the direction of increasing theta. So that would be in this direction. And we call this direction as theta cap. Now, what we are going to do is the position of the particle, you can call it as OP, or you can say it's r vector. This is equal to the length of the vector, which is r, times its direction, which is r cap. Okay, so now if we want the velocity vector, we would have to differentiate the r vector, and this would be the velocity vector. So if we differentiate r, okay, so I'm going to call the time derivative of r as r dot. Okay, so we have r dot r cap, but in this case, the r cap vector is also changing with time. Like if you see, let's say this particle after some time reaches this point. So now the thing is, if you join the origin to this point, r cap is in this direction. So r cap clearly is changing its direction with time. So we have to determine the value of dr cap by dt. Okay, so dr cap by dt is essentially the rate of change of this unit vector. So initially the r cap vector was something like this, and let's say after dt time, this line rotates by an angle of d theta. So even r cap vector will rotate by an angle of d theta. So finally r cap vector, it rotated by a little bit, and if the line OP rotates by an angle of d theta, even r cap vector will rotate by an angle of d theta. Now as we need dr cap by dt, so dr cap is basically the change in r cap. Now clearly r cap is a unit vector, right? So its magnitude is always 1. So what's changing is the direction. So the dr cap vector will be, this would be dr cap. Okay, and another realization is that dr cap is actually perpendicular to r cap. And the reason for that is, if it had a tangential component, then r cap's magnitude will increase, which clearly is not possible, right? The r cap's magnitude is always 1. So which means the dr cap is perpendicular to r cap. Now dr cap is basically the arc length, and that would be equal to the radius, which is 1, again because it's a unit vector, times the angle, which is d theta. So now if I divide both sides by dt, we get a very important result from here. The time rate of change of r cap is actually, okay, by the way, this was a magnitude. Okay, we'll talk about the direction. So the magnitude of dr cap by dt is going to be d theta by dt, which is basically the omega of this line OP, right? This would be simply omega. So the another important thing is the direction. Now, as I said earlier, this dr cap is perpendicular to r cap. So as we took the perpendicular direction of r cap as theta cap, we can clearly say the direction of dr cap by dt is in the theta cap direction. So you guys have to remember this result, and that is, okay, this is not the mod anymore. So this would be result number 1, and that is dr cap by dt is going to be omega theta cap, and I'm just going to write it as theta dot theta cap just to make the differentials simple. And you can do exactly similar analysis for theta cap as well. So, and I'm just going to write it here. So d theta cap by dt will come out to be minus omega r cap. Okay, and you can simply observe it. So initially, let's say theta cap was in this direction. So, and assume this line rotates by an angle of d theta. So even theta cap will rotate by an angle of d theta, and d theta cap by dt will be this vector. And this, as you can see, is opposite to r cap direction. And that's why we have a minus r cap in this case. Okay, so now let's substitute this into a velocity equation. So it comes out to be r dot r cap plus r theta dot theta cap. Okay, now we have the velocity vector. If we differentiate it once more, we'll have the acceleration vector, which we actually want in this case. First, let's differentiate r dot. So that would become r double dot r cap direction, and plus r dot times dr cap by dt is going to be omega theta cap. So this would become r dot theta dot in the theta cap direction, plus again this will be r dot theta dot in the theta cap direction. So we differentiated r here. Now we have to differentiate theta dot. So that would become r theta double dot. And this is basically the alpha of the line OP, but I'm going to write it as theta double dot for now. The direction would be theta cap. Plus the last term is going to be r theta dot times d theta cap by dt, which from here we can borrow as minus theta dot. So this would turn out to be minus r theta dot square in the r cap direction. So now let's group the r cap and the theta cap terms together. So this would be r double dot minus r theta dot square in the r cap direction plus 2 r dot theta dot plus r theta double dot in the theta cap direction. So in general planar motion, if let's say everything is varying, so there is theta, theta dot, theta double dot, and r dot and r double dot, then if we want the acceleration vector it's going to take this form. Okay. So in circular motion, we first learn about uniform circular motion, and in that the radius of the particle remains constant. So which means r double dot term will be gone, r dot term will be gone, and all we are left with is minus r theta dot square, which you might be familiar with. It's called the centripetal acceleration, and r theta double dot, that is basically the r alpha term, right? Or the tangential acceleration. Okay, so basically this acceleration is called the centripetal acceleration. This acceleration, that is 2 r dot theta dot in the theta cap direction, is called the Coriolis acceleration, and this r theta double dot is called the Euler acceleration or the azimuthal acceleration. Basically the name doesn't matter. What matters is that you guys remember their magnitudes and their directions. So, and one more key point is that r cap direction is always along the direction of increasing r, and theta cap direction is always along the direction of increasing theta. So now we can move on to the problem of the video. So initially the sleeve was at this end, A, then this rod is being rotated at an angular velocity of 10 radians per second. And finally the sleeve will reach this point. Okay. So now if I draw the top view of the rod, so it's being rotated like this, the omega is out of the plane, and this would be the direction of increasing r. So we have to take, so the r cap for this particular case will be in this direction, and the direction of increasing theta will be basically in the direction of omega only. So it will be in this direction. So this will be the direction of theta cap, and this will be the direction of r cap. So now in the first question, they were asking about the velocity of the particle, and the velocity of the particle using our result, it's going to be r dot in the r cap direction plus r theta dot in the theta cap direction. So, and when do we need it? We need it when the bead reaches the other end of the rod. The r dot, we don't really know about it, so we have to take some values. The radial velocity of the bead is, let's say it's u, which we have to find about. And also the omega of the rod will also change according to the principle of conservation of angular momentum. This omega will also change. Let's find out the omega of the rod when the bead reaches the end. So by conserving the angular momentum, so we can say the magnitude of initial angular momentum of the rod is ml square by 3, which is the moment of inertia of the rod about this particular axis, times omega naught. And finally the angular momentum, and finally the rod reaches this end and it will have some radial velocity of u. The new moment of inertia of the system is going to be ml square by 3 plus ml square times omega. So on substituting the values, we'll get omega as omega naught by 2, which is 5 radians per second. Now we have to determine what the value of u is, and for that we'll use energy conservation. So the initial kinetic energy of the system is half I of the system, which is ml square by 3 initially, times omega naught square, and finally it is going to be half I of the system is going to be now ml square by 3 plus ml square times omega square, and on top of that there will also be a half m u square, and on solving you'll get the value of u as 5 root 2 meters per second. So finally we can write the velocity vector of the bead as it'll be r dot, which is going to be u, and u we determined as 5 root 2, and this will be in the r cap direction, plus r theta dot, and r is going to be 1 meter, theta dot is going to be 5, so this is going to be 5 in the theta cap direction. So this is the final velocity vector of the bead. Okay, so now if we look at the options, they are asking the velocity of the sleeve relative to rod and the velocity of the sleeve relative to ground, and there should be a correction. This must be the speed of the sleeve. Okay, so relative to ground, it will be simply, the speed will be the modulus of v, and that would be 5 root 3 meters per second, which was option B, I guess. So that is correct. And relative to the rod, well, the rod's velocity at the end point is going to be r theta dot in the theta cap direction. So which means relative to rod, we will only consider the radial component of velocity. So the speed of the sleeve relative to the rod is going to be 5 root 2 meters per second. So if we check the options, option A and B is correct. So now we have to determine the normal force acting on the sleeve. Okay, so this is where the acceleration result actually comes into picture. So first of all, we need to understand that there will be two normals in this. So from the side view, we can easily say there will be one component of normal, let's say it's N1, and there will be the weight of the bead, which will be mg, and simply N1 will be equal to mg, right? Because the particle is not accelerating in the vertical direction. So N1 is simply mg, which is 10 newtons. So we already determined one normal. But now we have one more normal, which would be in the theta cap direction. So now as we know the acceleration in the theta cap direction, we can instantly write N1 as mass of the bead, which is 1 kg, times the acceleration in the theta cap. And acceleration in the theta cap, we did, what was it? It was 2 r dot theta dot plus r theta double dot. So now what is r dot? R dot is u. So we found out r dot to be u, which is 5 root 2. And theta dot is the omega at that instant, which would be 5 radians per second. Plus r is going to be 1 meter. Theta double dot will be the alpha of the rod. And if we can somehow determine alpha, our question is done. So, and for alpha, we have to relate it to torque, right? So first of all, the alpha will be opposite to omega. Why is it opposite to omega? Because omega is decreasing, right? As the sleeve moves along the rod, the omega is decreasing because I of the system is increasing. So which means alpha must be opposite to omega. So now if we draw the top view of the rod, so if we separate out the bead and the rod, so on the bead, we assume the normal to be N1 in this direction. The normal force on the rod due to the sleeve is going to be N1 in the opposite direction. So now we can write the tau equal to I alpha equation for this rod. So we can say N1 multiplied by L, which is 1 meter, equals I about the hinge, which is ml square by 3 times alpha of the rod. So from here, we'll get N1 as alpha in magnitude. Okay. So, okay. And one more thing. So we took theta dot as plus 5. And the reason for that is omega is increasing the theta, right? So we take it as positive. But in the case of alpha, as alpha is decreasing omega, so we have to take this as minus alpha. Okay. So this would be 50 root 2 plus minus alpha, and alpha is going to be, we determine it as N1. We'll get N1 as 25 root 2 newtons, and N2, which was the other normal, we determined it to be 10 newtons. So these are the two normal reactions that are acting on the bead. So the net normal will be under root of N1 square plus N2 square, as both of these normals are perpendicular to each other. So this would be, I can take out a 5. So this finally will be 15 root 6 newtons. And this is going to be the net normal force. So option D is also correct. So the answer to this question will be option A, B, D. So I hope you guys enjoyed this problem. So please like and subscribe if you found it useful. And thanks for watching, guys.